Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, NLP trainer, and life coach. And I want to welcome you to the program. And I also want to tell you that no matter what your reasons are for taking this course, you are in the right place. Perhaps you want to start a profession as a life coach. Perhaps you already have an existing practice of some sort as a therapist or a hypnotherapist or an NLP trainer, and you want to add life coaching to it. Or perhaps you're just interested to find out what life coaching is all about. Whatever your reasons are, you are in the right place. You know, it's interesting that many people who end up as therapists and life coaches and hypnotherapists, they are the people who people turn to. People who people turn to in times of crisis and turn to for advice. Sometimes they're the people who other people dump on when they have problems. I like to call them challenges, by the way, but they bring these challenges to those people. And they're always bringing their challenges to those people. And those people finally end up being life coaches or hypnotherapists or therapists of some sort. It's interesting how that works. Well, I want to tell you that if you're in that category, if you are one of those people who everybody comes to and says, help me with this, then this is going to teach you, this program is going to teach you how to take that and start making money from it. Take that and start doing it in a professional way. Take that and learn how to do it even better. So no matter what category you find yourself in, whether you're interested in just turning what you already do into a profession or adding to an existing profession or starting from scratch. Perhaps you're at a point in your life where you don't really know where to turn and you're interested in looking for new directions, how to make money, how to help people, and so forth. Whatever the category you may find yourself in, you are in the right place. For me personally, my story starts over 25 years ago. I've been practicing NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, by the way. We'll talk more about that. I've also been practicing hypnotherapy for over 25 years. And since I've been practicing both for so long, I've found along the way that I need to add to my practice. I need other tools that will enhance what I do. And that's when I discovered life coaching. Life coaching, in fact, increased the power that I have, the power to help people, to take them from where they are to where they want to be. With life coaching, it was sort of like the icing on the cake. It was the missing piece. For me, it made the difference in my ability to help people at one level and my ability to really skyrocket their success. So this is going to be the same way for you. You're going to find with life coaching that it's going to help you help others. And along the way, you're going to learn a tremendous amount about yourself and you're going to learn how to enhance your own life. So get ready to learn and get ready to have some fun. I want to talk a little bit about how I got involved in coaching, because you may be wondering how a hypnotherapist and NLP trainer got involved in the concept of life coaching. And really what happened was a natural process for me. I was in my office in Beverly Hills and working with celebrities, and what I realized, whether I was working with celebrities or just everyday people, it really didn't matter, but what I realized is that what everyone needed was coaching. You know, it's one thing to provide hypnotherapy services or neuro-linguistic programming services, but if someone comes to me and has a session with me, a hypnotherapy session, then they leave and they're supposed to be working on something, that's kind of the gray zone that they enter. Then they come back for the next session, we do the next session, then they leave, and usually the sessions are a week apart. What I found was that there needed to be some sort of accountability in the meantime. I needed to have a way to know that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, because hypnotherapy is great, neuro-linguistic programming is great, there are great ways to get change in people, but what matters even more than that is what they're doing in the meantime. Are they listening to the recording of the session that I gave them? Are Are they doing their homework? For example, when someone's afraid of heights, I would assign homework of going out and going into an elevator, maybe ride it up to the second floor. A glass elevator, really great for overcoming fear of heights. Then right up to the third floor. Maybe the next week right up to the fourth floor and so forth. So there needs to be some sort of incremental change going on, and that needs to be happening by them doing something. So I started to realize that what I was needing, the missing piece for me, was life coaching. I needed to step in a bigger way in their lives, and not just be the guy who they saw once a week and who did the next hypnosis session with them or the next neurolinguistic programming session with them. I needed a way to have them accountable to me in the meantime, and that was going to hold them accountable to themselves as well. So what I realized was that life coaching needed to be an integral part of what I was doing. I needed to find a way to work it into what I was doing. And so I did. And once I made that connection, a whole world opened to me. And people started getting the change that they really wanted and getting it a lot more quickly. And really, my commitment to having a program about life coaching has to do with my commitment to education, because let's face it, I can help people with hypnotherapy and NLP, and I can also become a life coach for them. But for me to take all of that knowledge about life coaching, and by the way, you don't need to know anything about hypnotherapy or NLP as part of this program. That's just what I do mainly. And I realized that life coaching was the missing ingredient for me. So whatever you do, you can add life coaching to. And if you don't do anything yet, then life coaching can be the one and only thing you do, and that's good enough because it's very powerful. But when you think about it, I had this ingredient that I added called life coaching. Well, that's one thing. That's me working with people and learning how to help them better. But due to my commitment to education, I decided to bring it to you. I thought, wow, this is a very powerful tool. I'm so glad that I discovered this. How about bringing it to others? So, with my doctorate in education, I've studied Ivy League schools. I understand how they create programs. I've created many programs myself. And as a dedicated educator, I decided that I'm going to bring this program to you. I'm going to make it available to anyone and everyone who wants to learn how life coaching works, and that's whether you want to work with yourself or others. So, as part of this program, you don't have to become a life coach in the sense that you put out a shingle and start doing life coaching. You don't have to do that, but you will be certified to do that if you want to. I just want you to know how to do it so that you are able to integrate it into what you do. And if you want to start a career as a life coach, you can do that. You can absolutely do that with this program. But my commitment to education is what made this possible. That made me take the next step, because a lot of people master something and they're really good at it, but they never take it to the next step, which is teaching others. And I feel that people have a commitment to teach other people. I feel that when you know something, it is your obligation to share it with others. Otherwise, it ends with you. Just think if Einstein had figured out the secrets to the cosmos, E equals mc squared, and just kept it to himself. Would we have benefited? No, we wouldn't have. So I want to share this with you, and I'm hoping that you get excited and you want to share it with other people, at least in terms of working with them and helping them to improve their lives. So I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience with having a life coach, because every now and then people who are involved in helping others actually reach out for help themselves. And in my 25 plus years of working with people and doing therapy and so forth, I have from time to time reached out and I've said, I need help. Something's going on. I need to get to the next level. So I've actually gone to mainstream therapists. I've hired a life coach myself. I've gone to seminars to enhance my knowledge of what the next level even looks like. And I make this a practice to do this regularly. So at one point, I was stuck. I didn't know how to make the next move. And for my situation, it was kind of a good problem. A lot of times people tell me, they say, Steve, I wish I had your problems. So my problem, or my challenge as I like to call them, was that I had my office at Beverly Hills. I was working with celebrity clients and I was making a name for myself, but I didn't really want to have an office in Beverly Hills. Not because I didn't want the prestige and the clients that came with that. It's because I didn't feel like driving there every day. And I also didn't want my clients to drive there every day because they felt stressed out and I felt stressed out. If you've been to Beverly Hills, you know that parking is a little bit of a problem. It's a little bit of a challenge. I had my own parking spot that I got to, but they didn't. They didn't have their own place. And so the traffic, the potential parking challenges, and having to go into an office, put on a suit and tie, and I carried a briefcase. And by the time I got there, I felt so stressed out. I felt like I might as well have a job in corporate America. I might as well be selling insurance or something. It just didn't feel right. And my clients felt that too. They felt stressed out because of having challenges parking. They didn't have a reserved parking space like I did. They had to find a spot. I was stressed out, feeling out of sorts. They were stressed out, and it really wasn't the way to do therapy. So my challenge was, do I leave my office? And I hired a life coach. And to make a long story short, what we came up with was that it wasn't the office they were coming to see, it was me. And it was only my ego that was holding on to that office. I let go of that office, and I haven't looked back since. I've been so happy, and so have my clients. So that was my first experience in using a life coach. So my experience was outstanding. My experience hiring a life coach was great. Now, I still hadn't put everything together then. I still didn't realize that I needed to be a life coach for my clients. I thought a hypnotherapist is one thing, a life coach is another thing, and the two will probably never meet. I didn't realize that what I was learning from my coach was what I needed to be giving to my clients. So, to elaborate a little bit on my life coaching experience, we worked together for a number of weeks. And one of the things I remember my life coach saying was, no is no longer acceptable. The word no is no longer acceptable. And he also said, can't is no longer acceptable. The word can't is no longer acceptable. When he took away those two things, I thought, that's really taking away a lot of my power. What do you mean? I'm paying you. I'm paying you for this. Why would you take this power away from me? But what I didn't realize at the time was he was actually giving me power. Now, I hired a life coach who had worked with Tony Robbins, who had toured the world, and this guy was top notch. He was a wonderful life coach. I wanted the absolute best. So he took away those two things. He took away no and can't. And especially with taking away can't, that really was a powerful door opener for me. Because when you eliminate can't, you eliminate every excuse. Your excuses are gone at that point. You're not going to be able to say, oh, I can't do that. What's that? You want me to do this, life coach? Okay, I hear you, but I can't do that by next week. That's not possible for me. Excuses go away. And when excuses go away, all that's left is opportunity. And when all that's left is opportunity, you really start getting things done. You really start making things happen. So my experience with life coaching was absolutely wonderful when I had a life coach who I hired and who worked with me. It was absolutely wonderful. It didn't take too long in my practice for me to realize that that's what I need to integrate. So as I've already mentioned, I integrated that into my practice, but it took me the making that change in my mind, making that switch over to realizing that, hey, I can be a life coach and a hypnotherapist. Now, I didn't call myself a life coach. I continued to call myself a hypnotherapist, but I started incorporating those ideas and did it more and more and more, and things got better and better and better. And so now I'm happy to share all of those techniques plus more with you. All of those that he taught me plus many that I've come up with over the years that have enhanced my life and will help you and your patients. So I want you to get excited about becoming a coach. I want you to get excited about learning everything that I learned, about learning everything that I've added to what I have learned over my years of experience, And I want you to get excited about having a career if that's what you want. If you want to become a life coach and that's what you want to call yourself and that's what you want to do, I want you to get excited about that. If you're already a therapist, whatever kind of therapist you are, and I've trained all kinds of therapists. One time in Japan, I trained 30 psychiatrists. So I've trained all kinds of therapists. So whatever you are, if you want to call yourself a life coach and that's what you want to do, I want you to get excited about that. If you're already a therapist and you want to add it to what you do and call yourself what you already are plus a life coach, or just call yourself what you already are and start incorporating life coaching into what you're doing, I want you to get excited because that enthusiasm is going to make the difference. That's going to take you from where you are to where you want to be. And I remember when I initially got involved in hypnotherapy. Luckily, I discovered it in high school. You probably know my story. I discovered it in high school and started working with people in the high school. We were in a military school, so we had to all stay there in the military school. So I had a book about hypnosis. I started hypnotizing the people in my high school. Well, I got out of high school and started studying at the University of Florida, learning psychology in a very formal way and really honing my skills. And I was quickly able to become a professional hypnotherapist. But I got excited. That's what turned my brain on. That's what got everything flowing for me. That's what started it all, that excitement. For me, it happened in my teenage years. I became excited about helping people and working with people in my teenage years. And that has carried through. It hasn't slowed down at all. In fact, it's accelerated. Excitement is the key to everything. I want you to think about the pyramids in Egypt, or the pyramids in Tulum or Coba in Mexico, or anywhere in the world. There was an initial, at least on the part of the people planning it, an excitement. Now, when we talk about pyramids, we realize that a lot of people who did the work weren't too excited, but the people who came up with the idea, they were excited. And I want you to be excited also about what you are about to build. You're about to build a potential new career.